Here we are on our last video of this chapter. This is entitled Drawing and Editing with a Pencil Tool. We're working on page 170 and 172. The pencil tool allows you to draw freeform items, but I want to show you a little bit of how the pencil tool works. To do this, you need to find the pencil tool in your tool panel. It's over here when you're in a two-column panel. I'm going to double click on my pencil tool, and we want to set the fidelity slider to smooth. It was normally set. If you click on reset, you'll see the options that are normal for this tool. I'm going to pull it to smooth, and that means it will try to smooth off my artwork even if I draw a little bit jagged. Sometimes it's hard to draw really smooth art with a mouse, so that's where this tool can help. I'd like you to notice in your book on page 170, it shows you the pencil tool options dialog box, and it doesn't look quite like this. Mine has a fifth option in here. The book shows only 4 options, squares under options to choose, but I'm seeing 5 here because they've added yet another one, close paths when ends are within. The way that Adobe handles their software now is you buy it on a subscription basis, that is, you're paying a monthly fee, and they don't wait until a year goes by before they send you changes to the software. They send you changes anytime that they develop something new they think is worthwhile. They make it available to you. So anytime that you download your software or update your software, every month, every 2 weeks, a change could come through, as often as they do. So this is probably one of those changes here that's come through since 2014. Our book is based on 2014, but here, as I do this video, it's the latter part of 2015. So we're seeing some options here. For this particular exercise, I want you to turn on all of these options. Turn every one of them on and make sure your fidelity is set till smooth. Notice it says it's going to close path when the ends are within 15 pixels, and it's going to edit selected paths when you're within 6 pixels. Let's click on OK. Now, if your colors are not set to the fill of pink and the stroke of brown, what you can do is go get your eyedropper tool out of the toolbox, and whatever you click on, it's going to match the colors of that. For instance, if I click on these orange letters, it's going to give me a fill of orange and a stroke of none. But I want my drips from my ice cream, which we're going to draw now, to match the color of the ice cream. So I'm going to click on the ice cream, and that's going to change my fill color to a pink and my stroke color to the brown color. It sets the stroke width as well to 6 points. So it's an easy way to make it match. Now go back and get your pencil tool. Before we actually do the drips, I want to show you a little bit about what those keep selected and edit within settings were in the pencil tool. I'm going to just draw a little wavy line. That does have a fill in that line, so you can see that. As I edit the line, if I want to edit the line, I just go back over the line and drag, and as I drag part of the line, it changes the shape of the line. I didn't even have to start at the beginning. It's just kind of like giving you a do-over. As long as you start on the path or very close to the path, it's going to let you do it over again. If you want to draw a new line, you have to move your mouse far enough away from the previous line that you see that little asterisk grow out. So right there, I would be changing the current line, but right here, I would be able to draw a new line. So you need to know that that's what they're talking about in here, where it says keep path selected. That means when I'm done drawing it, keep it selected so I can modify it if I want to. And then edit my selected path, turn it into an edit instead of a new line if I'm within 6 pixels, and the user can change that. So we're going to say OK to that. I'm going to delete that one, hold my Command or Control key down to select this one, delete that one. Now we know our fill color is going to be pink, our stroke color is going to be the brown color. We're going to draw a drip. I have to tell you, of all the lessons in this chapter, of all the exercises in the chapter, this is the one that frustrated me because a little bit of the tool didn't work quite like the book says it will. I don't know why, but let's look at what happens. First of all, I want to draw a drip. I'm looking at step 5 at the bottom, page 170. I want to draw a drip coming down here, just about shaped just about like that. Now that works pretty well for me. I came back up close enough. I'm going to delete that and do it again so you can watch again. I'm starting with an asterisk, which means I'm creating new artwork. Hold my finger down, come down, back around the bottom, back up here. When I get close to the top, I see the 0 there. It's going to try to close the path for me. That little circle, I don't mean 0, but that little circle beside the pen means it's going to close the path. I'm going to try to get a little closer to it because I want it a little bit pointy at the top. Now, once you've done that, you can modify it, and one way to modify it is to just draw over it again like we saw we did before, and that will allow you to make a change to it. Or, as your book says, you can, well, let's move on with the next one, and then we'll try the difference. I'm going to get my selection tool, pick that up and move it a little bit closer to my ice cream. I want to draw another drip, and this is the part where it got complicated for me. I'm going to draw with my pen tool. This time they're suggesting that we draw a U shape. So I'm going to draw a U shape because they want to teach us how the software can close up the top of that on its own, but it won't close it up by creating a straight segment there because that would look kind of funny with a straight connector there, but instead it would do it in a more dynamic way of moving the 2 points together to create a closing drip to that. That's where I had trouble. I'm going to go get the tool that we use for that. That's called the Join tool, and this is a new tool to version 2014 of Illustrator CC. With that tool selected, we are to drag across both ends like that, and that will move them together according to the book. Only it doesn't. Step 9 tells us click and hold the mouse down on the pencil tool and select the Join tool, use the Join tool, and drag across it. Step 10, drag across the 2 ends of the U shape to join them. It just doesn't do it. I don't know why it doesn't. I've tried it 15 times. It still doesn't do it. I've redrawn the U shape many times. So I'm going to delete that and backspace it and just draw it the right way. And that is, I'm going to go back and get my pencil tool, and I'm just going to draw another drip here. Kind of an elongated one. If I can always change the shape of it if I want to. I think I want the bottom more rounded off. But I'm not able to get that nice sharp point that they're showing in the last figure on page 171. And again, I want to move this so that it looks like it's kind of dripping down that spot. So we are ignoring that step unless you want to try it yourself and you find that it works good for you. Maybe your software version is slightly different than mine because maybe I haven't updated to a point where you have, but I just did not have any success with that Join tool. So we're going to go ahead and move on now, and that is to deal with work with the pencil tool with our spoon. We want to select the long part of the spoon, and we're going to move it to the bottom of the ice cream so it's underneath the ice cream. And one way to do that is to right click. You can go to Object and choose Arrange, or you can right click and choose Arrange and choose Send to Back. And so now that part of the spoon is going to look like it's digging into the ice cream, and it's actually appearing that we've dug our spoon all the way through the ice cream and the bowl of the spoon is coming out the bottom. But this looks a little bit funny here. This should be ice cream color, and it's not. It's spoon color for that line. And that's where the pencil tool comes in again to help us. We're going to be drawing with the pencil tool, creating a new path here, but we're going to, when we get to this spot, we're going to make the computer make the line stay really straight and then curve it up again, kind of like a smile shape. So I'm going to, just using my pencil tool right now, hold my mouse button down and drag a little bit of a line here, then hold Alt or Option down, and it lets me go straight across, and then lift Alt or Option back up and put a little bit of a new curve there. And I've got the wrong color set here, but we know how to fix that by getting our eyedropper tool and clicking on the ice cream. And then when I deselect that, I can see that looks more like the tools coming out there. I'm not real happy with this point here. I think in the real world what I would do, I'll select it with my direct selection tool. That looks too much like a corner to me. So I'm going to round that a little bit by pulling it out this way, and I'm much happier with that. And I'm going to do a save. I'm going to go back and look at my final file to see what that's supposed to look like. I can compare my drips to their drips. Each drip's going to be a little bit different, and that's good. And we see we have finished this file. I'm going to do a save. This is what we're going to submit along with the practice exercise from this chapter. So there was a lot to this. I applaud you for hanging in there and getting it finished, and I hope you found the videos helpful.